Politics. Politics are a really touchy subject, a subject that is often intentionally avoided in conversation. And for the most part, this is okay. It's actually probably even good. I mean, avoiding a family brawl at a Thanksgiving dinner definitely warrants an aversion to this topic. However, this aversion is also problematic because it fosters ignorance and inaction. All too often, we hear everywhere that young people are the future, that is up to the youth to propel us forward. But tell me this, how can the youth be expected to propel us forward if the very thing that they should be educated about is placed in a box, and that box is surrounded by yellow caution tape? When I was younger, I was in the mindset that politics were a waste of time, that they didn't matter. And in all honesty, I just always envisioned an endless vacuum of crusty old white men disillusioned by their own agendas. I wasn't really wrong on the last point. Nevertheless, I still had zero interest in garnering any political knowledge. That doesn't mean I wasn't without opinions, though. I just didn't know where those opinions fell. And it wasn't until years later that I saw the importance of being politically informed. And thus, I sought to bring awareness to this societal flaw, or at least bring awareness to a body of students that exist within the Montclair State University community. The more informed we are, the better equipped we are to tackle the world's political fallacies and injustices. Being informed is the catalyst for change. So, what exactly is the political spectrum? According to Andrew Haywood, the author of Political Ideologies, a political spectrum is a system to characterize and classify different political positions in relation to one another. These positions sit upon one or more geometric axes that represent independent political dimensions. And what does that mean for you? Well, by finding out where you fall on the political spectrum, it can provide a baseline from which to grow and develop your own political opinions and ideas. I thought this could be an invaluable baseline to generate interest for Montclair State University's community of students. And so I sent out an email to approximately 120 students across my 5 classes and asked them to complete a survey found on the website politicalcompass.org. I received only 9 replies. 9 out of 120. That is only 7.5%. That means that 111 people, or 92.5%, chose not to participate. That is very troubling. Does this mean that 111 out of the 120 that could have potentially taken the survey share the same mindset that I had when I was young, that politics don't matter? This could mean that those 111 people might not vote. And this is especially concerning given the very divisive election year that is currently taking place in the midst of not only a world pandemic, but amongst other issues like climate change and systemic racism, these other issues that plague this country. It is clear from the very small sample of results that I was able to plot and that I did receive where the majority actually clusters. And it could possibly be indicative of where the majority of the university community falls. Or it could suggest that these are the results of the 7.5% of students that deemed it critical enough to inform themselves. So what can you do? Well, I urge you all to inform yourselves. Vote. Stay current on events and stay true to yourself. Differences are what support diversity and ultimately pave the way for change. People are constantly evolving, and our political policies should do so in accordance with that evolution. But the only way that can happen is to realize the value of understanding where you fall on this spectrum. And as an individual, know that Your opinion matters and your voice deserves to be heard.